She's at a place in her life where peace is a priority and negativity cannot exist. She's no longer matching energy. She's simply removing herself from any situation that doesn't vibrate her soul. So if you start moving funny, she's moving on.
What's up, my Finna loves? This is Finna D coming to you all from Finna Team News. In my late review that I posted about Brooklyn's birthday party, I said that I was going to talk about Sheree and Drew going at each other, but I was going to wait for the entire week to go by, and then I was going to combine the tweets from last week and the tweets from this week. That is, if they kept going at it on Twitter and then doing one video. So here I am keeping my promise, and I'm going to add this a part of a segment that I do on Friday called Lost Files Fridays. And this is when I post all the content that I meant to post, but I never got around to posting. Okay, so most of you are aware, well, for those of you who have Instagram and Twitter, and for those of you who also see other, blog pages and things like that, you are aware that Sheree and Drew been dragging each other all over social media, especially on Twitter. So most of you who saw the episode, rumors with the assistant, Drew and Sheree sharing an assistant, the assistant talking, saying that, Sheree didn't pay him, and we already know the shade, Chateau, she can't pay. The assistant is not the first person to complain about Sheree not paying people. Even the shady producers added all of the blog pages, headlines of Sheree not paying her contractors, and the list goes on and on. And when Kenya Moore was on Watch What Happens Live, she said that it's not that Sheree doesn't have the money to pay people, because they're cool now. So Kenya was being nice. She said that I don't think it's that Sheree doesn't want to pay people. I just think that if the work she pays you to do is not good enough, then she's not going to pay you. It makes no sense to pay you for doing bad work if she still have to take money to pay somebody else to come and fix the bad work that you did. That still doesn't make it right, but that's the excuse that Kenya made for Sheree. So let's read these tweets. Drew's first tweet was, "What do y'all think about my assistant Anthony?" You already know they're dragging him. There's 701 so far responses, so that's a whole different video. I might revisit that, okay? But let's focus on Drew and Sheree at this point. So Drew tweeted, "If you can't distinguish spring, summer, and September, you probably can't keep your payrolls straight." Not joggers. So Sheree responded, "Just like you can't keep your marriage straight." You actually just read yourself, Sheree, because you two had marital issues and it took you a long time to let Bob go. He was physically abusive to you. Domestic violence is not something to play with. So in as much as some of us might not be here for Drew sometimes, if we do believe this storyline, I do believe some of it is fake, but some of it is real. So if you do believe the real aspect of the storyline, Sheree is aware that it takes a while sometimes for people to walk away. She knows, because even after he did the worst, she stayed. But I understand in the heat of the moment, you're shading someone and you're just saying things. And then you're dating a guy that have a curfew. I don't think you have room to talk about anyone's relationship and marriage. Just saying. But let me get to some of social media reaction to what Sheree wrote, because she actually got dragged a little bit by those people who were defending Drew. So let's get into that. "Oh, Sheree, let's not talk about marriage and relationship. You clocked her though. This would be a better read if we didn't know your history with your ex-husband and Tyron, but go off though. Girl, as if you've ever had a good history with any of the men you've been with. Ouch. I'm not even here for Drew, but all I'm saying is you read yourself. Not pulling a Will Smith, child. Keep my husband's name out of your mouth. As long as you keep your hands to yourself and no smacking going on, and I'm not even joking about that. As long as y'all keep your hands to yourself, it's all good. Drew, keep my husband's name out of your mouth. Sheree responded, or what? Keep my finances out your mouth. Who the bleep are you? A bank teller at Wells Fargo? Child. Winnie Williams trying to get her money from Wells Fargo, child. Hold up, girl. Don't your peach have PPP on it? The feds are coming. If the feds are looking into anything, then it would be your husband's financial activity. What does he do again? Sheree, didn't your man just leave prison for stealing from people? And you're still with him? Tyrone was sentenced to 10 years in prison on wire fraud charges after stealing $5 million from investors. He was released early from a federal prison in Kentucky in February 2021 over COVID concerns and lived in a halfway house in Philadelphia. I'm not taking Drew's side, okay? Sheree is simply clapping back. She's doing her thing. She's reading herself in the process because of her current situation. Girl, bye. Definitely been rated number 1 3 weeks straight. And not to mention my screen time has been more than yours. So Sheree said, you are absolutely correct on the screen time, boo. Be clear. You taped for weeks creating fake storylines before I got there, honey, while I was still negotiating my contract. I know my worth. So if you are proud of how you are coming across for pennies, then kudos to you. And then you have people saying, how about you transfer that worth into knowing your worth and not sitting there waiting for a man who's in a halfway house and who have a curfew. But I'm not going to sit here and judge Sheree because maybe Tyrone is an amazing man behind the scenes. You know, and if it's true that he's the reason why Chateau she can't pay was paid, then he is an amazing man, man for Sheree, allegedly. And it is possible for people to turn their life around. So I'm not going to sit here and drag and clown the man either. He did his dirt, getting his life back, so kudos to them. But girl, reading yourself again. Didn't shoot for weeks, yet made the first scene in the first episode. I mean, Sheree, you are an OG. Not the petty hashtag. Hashtag Ralph have more screen time than you. Pass your peach to Ralph. And also, it looks like, you know how people are saying Drew, she got the Portia makeover. She also does pay advertisement for Portia hair brand. And then now she was on Dish Nation as a guest host. So if Portia doesn't come back to take her spot, it looks like Drew is sliding in there. And I don't blame her. I know you're talking about Sheree Peach and all of that because she keeps coming and they keep firing her. But yours isn't really that secure because Drew signed a 2-season deal. So I understand Sheree is throwing shade, but Drew wasn't going anywhere because she signed a 2-season deal because I'm not about to move my family across the country just for 1 season. So after this season, it's up in the air to see if Bravo is going to bring her back. But she was on Dish Nation and, you know, she was dragging Sheree, saying that Sheree should be worried about her peach and, you know, just same old different day. But it was something that she said that I've been saying. I just said it differently. She said what Sheree needs to be worried about is She by Sheree because so far she hasn't seen Ish by Sheree. I can't say the other word, okay? And I thought that line was clever. What have I been saying? I said congratulations and kudos to Sheree on finally having a fashion show with fashion. However, once the finale comes and the fashion show happens, I hope Sheree have a link to say, okay, thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed the fashion show. To purchase the pieces that you saw tonight, click this link and people can go and actually buy the fashion. And that Sheree just didn't throw some clothes together, put on the model to prove a point that look at me. I had a fashion show with fashion. The end, and there's still no She by Sheree, there's still no link, there's still nothing. So Drew, maybe Sheree is waiting for the finale and that big moment because that night will be her night to then go live with her products, because right after the episode, depending on how amazing the fashion show is, you will have all of the congratulations Sheree tweets and everything, and then she can launch and go live from there and people can have the link. So that's my hope, that she actually have fashion. But Drew said so far, we haven't seen ish by Sheree. So Sheree, I hope you have some ish for us to see. Well, they kept dragging each other. Sheree tweeted, I'm going to do a Shape by Sheree program since I actually work out. Ouch, because you drop it with Drew. We ain't see Drew drop nothing, okay? The last episode, well, the episode before the last one, we saw Drew try to drop one time and it was cut. Next scene. So, Sheree actually works out. So I'm going to give her that. Instead of paying 3 assistants when you aren't working, you should invest that in a real marriage counselor. Oh, now you're coming for the marriage counselor? I know he's been on other shows, but what did that man do? Not the person who took 20 years to build a house in her mama's name, telling someone else about how to spend their money. The nerves. This is exactly why I don't watch The Mess. The only things these women have is a lot of nerves. You shocking with a criminal, so how you talking about someone's relationship? It took you 100 years to build your home, so it seems like you are the one not working, ma'am. Sheree, not you going after someone else's marriage. You know what it looks like when a woman gives up her power in a bad marriage. Abuse yourself. Spar all you want with Drew, but the marriage dirt should be off limits. Please, woman to woman, not marriage. Sheree, it would be kind of you to take Drew aside and teach her the lessons you learned about staying too long in a bad situation. Yeah, Sheree's own supporters are eating her up in these comments. I understand these comments, and I also understand the comments that I made, but at the end of the day, when you're throwing shade, that's exactly what it is. It's shade. It doesn't matter if this person went through it. Well, you are going through it today, so we are going to drag you today because today you're going through it. And that's it. It doesn't mean that Sheree is behaving perfect or dismissing that she too been through it and she's still making mistakes but learning. Okay? It was just simple. You want to come and throw shade at me? This is what I think you should be doing. But as you can see, social media did not play with Sheree. They also did not play with Drew. And I think people wanted Sheree to pull a Kenya, but this is Twitter. They're throwing shade. Don't behave like you have a perfect situation when you are going through it. When Kenya came for Drew's husband and she felt triggered and she was defending Drew, she did not behave like the voice that she had for Drew was the same voice that she had for herself publicly. Kenya absolutely defended herself privately, but publicly she just felt like, what if he blacks out and then says something that he cannot take back and now it's on film forever? Okay, so she was playing her cards right, but she just felt like the public did not get to see that Kenya Moore, who normally stands up for herself and claps back, and she just saw herself in Drew just being quiet, and so she stood up for Drew, but she also acknowledged things that she could have done differently in her marriage compared to her sitting there coming for Drew's husband, talking to Drew and pretending like her situation was perfect. But like I said, this is Twitter. They were simply just shading each other. It doesn't mean Sheree is ignoring. And also the whole rumors about someone's husband being gay. Sheree also insinuated when Kenya Moore's husband came before the drama that season because he had nose ring that something else is going on. Now here we are again. Sheree is right back at it. Now, I'm aware that the messy assistant, and sharing things with Sheree and her friend, and he started it and all of these different things. These women are able to say in the moment, I might not be here for this person right now, but I'm leaving that part alone. I'm not going to stoop that low. They know how to do that. Give the same energy you give to Kenya Moore, especially even though the other girls were laughing, but give that situation the same energy you did. Kenya Moore said that there are rumors. She repeated something she heard about Kim Field's husband in Hollywood. You got so mad. This woman have kids. This is not right. And then here you are feeding into rumors you heard from the assistant. And Drew have kids too. And I'm not even defending Drew. I'm just calling out Sheree hypocrisy. Because all of these girls are hypocrite when it comes to Kenya. They will cause a war and go to war when and if Kenya is involved. And then just to turn around and do the same thing and the internet be like crickets. Regardless if the moment why you repeated it was to tell Drew, I don't know why you are defending this person or rocking with this person, but this is what this person is saying about your husband, your marriage. I get that. But then pull Drew aside, say that, and that's it. But the whole bringing it up at the table in front of the husband, just hot mess. I'm just saying that Sheree is a hypocrite like the rest of them. That's all. The same way how people are now defending Drew and her marriage and all of that against Sheree. However, for some reason, I don't see these same comments when it comes to Kenya Moore. Drew came for Kenya Moore marriage. Drew threw shade at Kenya. Drew did all of these different things at Kenya. And I don't see comments of anyone screaming, "Karma, that's what you get for doing this." But hey, this video is not about Kenya. But that's the reason why Kenya will continue to be blessed, because even though people did not give her the same courtesy, here she is out of the goodness of her heart defending them. As far as Drew and Sheree goes, hot mess. The lies, carnivores. This scene is BS. She needs a moment. She's talking about Drew. He was never my assistant. Ever respect the OG. Trying to remain classy, but this girl is trying it. Please don't be giving Twitter all of this and then the reunion comes and you don't give us anything. All this free content and back and forth and reading and sharing each other. Hopefully there's more on this season and there's more during the reunion. Don't waste this good content on Twitter when you can be doing it on the show. And regardless of how you feel about these women going back and forth with each other, at least it's something different and fresh. It's two new people. If this was Sheree versus Kenya, we're done, we're tired, boring again. But it had people talking, and hopefully it's going to lead to more eyes tuning in. So far, the girls are doing good. Be safe out there this weekend. I'm wishing all of you well and take care. And here my final loves. Thank you all for your love and support. If you're not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Go ahead and leave this video a thumbs up. Also turn on notifications so when I do post, you're aware that I posted. And I will see you all in the comment section. Remember to always have the God bless attitude, which is being positive at all times and seeing the good in every situation. Have a great day, guys. God bless.